This is the Vvolt Centauri 2. The first generation was one of my favorite bikes. So what's new with the second generation? That's what we're gonna find out in this video. First, I'll give you a walk around. We'll talk about all the components. Then we'll get into some first-person riding footage, see how the bike performs, and finally some third-person riding footage where I'll give you the pros and cons. But first, let's take a closer look. So what makes this bike special? It's what I like to call the trifecta: a mid-drive motor paired with a belt drive and an internally geared hub, though this one is a little bit different than the previous generation. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But first, price. These are premium components after all. The Centauri 2 is priced at $2,999 and comes in two colors. The first is Forest Planet, a matte green, or Galactic Storm if you prefer. What's great about Vvolt is they are US based and have a US based customer support team. Even more, they have a 3-year warranty. And what I like is the bike is offered in 3 different sizes to accommodate riders all the way down to 4'9". This is the size large, extra large, and I am a 6 foot tall rider with a 32-inch inseam. And I really like that they went with a mid-step frame, makes it more accessible. Just so much easier to get your leg over. But now let's jump into all the components. Starting with the tires, we have 27.5 inch by 2.4 inch wide CST tires. They are puncture resistant, of course, street tread. They also have a reflective sidewall, though that's not the only reflective thing on this bike. You can tell that Vvolt has designed this bike for the hardcore commuter, so you can ride it in all weather. And speaking of all weather, you have metal fenders that are included, complete with a flap in the front. Full coverage in the rear. For stopping power, Shimano hydraulic disc brakes paired with 180mm rotors. A Thru-Axle attaches the front wheel. More mounting points on the front fork on both sides. Reflective accents. And check this out, to smooth some bumps out, they have a monoshock with 30mm of travel. It is a spring coil, and while it doesn't offer a ton of travel, it does make the bike lighter weight and also low maintenance. This is what you can expect out of the monoshock. The front headlight is sleek and is built right into the frame. You get some side visibility, a V pattern in the front, and then a center light that's going to help you see on the road. And check this out, underneath the light is a USB-C port in case you need it. Some more reflective accents here, Vvolt logo on the head tube, some cable wrapping, cables enter the frame here, and the rear light is attached to the seat and it's routed through the seat post so it can run off the main battery. Is not brake actuated. Moving on to the cockpit, we have locking ergonomic grips, matching Shimano hydraulic disc brake levers, no motor cutoffs, not really needed on this bike. On the right, you get a bell, and check this out. This is not a throttle, this is a boost button. I can't wait to talk more about that in the upcoming first-person riding footage. All right, next, the display and controls. Power button in the center, powers on the center-mounted display. We've got battery capacity in the top left, USB indicator, light indicator in the top right. Those can be turned on by hitting the top button here. Now they're turned on, but you can also hold the button and turn it on to auto. Miles per hour in the center, odometer. Then we have the various pedal assist levels, starting off with chill. Cycle through those with the up and down buttons right here. Over to eco, tour, sport, turbo. Hitting the center button will cycle through different information: trip, time, average speed, max speed, motor power, human power, range estimate, which changes depending on the pedal assist level you're in, cadence, and back to odometer. And you can turn pedal assist off by going all the way down to off. Walk mode can be engaged by pressing the bottom button here, indicator on the screen. And yes, there is a USB-A port on the right side of the screen. By holding pedal assist up and down, you get into some advanced settings where you can reset the trip. You can adjust brightness. We'll set that to 100. And another thing you might want to check out is available function right here. You can turn on and off all of this information depending on what you want to see. And that's it for the display. The battery is located at the bottom of the down tube. Keys enter on the right. Turn the keys to the left to release the battery, and then there is a slider here that will fully release the battery. This is a 36 volt, 13.6 amp hour battery. It's UL 2271 certified. The entire bike's electronics are UL 2849. There's a charger port here, Or if you want to charge the battery when it's in the bike, you can do that here. The battery gives you an idea of the current capacity by pushing this button right here. The battery can also go to sleep, so keep that in mind. And yes, it does fit in our small battery bag. You can pick one up at shop.ebikeescape.com. To put the battery back in, terminals on the bottom snap into place, and you can slide the latch down and of course remove the keys. And that battery can be charged up with the included 2-amp charger. There's 2 more mounting points right here, 2 here, Vvolt branding and reflective. But here's where it gets interesting. They're using a new motor. This is from Ananda, 350 watts nominal, 650 watts of peak power, 120 Newton meters of torque. I can't wait to put that to the test and see how it performs. And that motor is engaged with a torque sensor. We have included metal pedals, a rear mounted kickstand, matching hydraulic disc brake in the rear. The rear rack is an optional accessory. They include a sleek style Vvolt branded seat. The handlebars have a swoop to them to put you in a slightly more upright riding position than you otherwise would be with straight handlebars. And here's where it gets really interesting, the 3-speed hub transmission. And not only is it 3 speeds, it's engaged automatically, no shifting required. It's something you need to really ride to experience it and see how it feels, but I'll do my best in the upcoming first-person riding footage. And yes, that is paired with a Gates Carbon belt drive, good for 10,000 miles plus, which makes this bike awesome. No maintenance, no mess, no chance of getting your pants greased up. And that is why I absolutely love bikes like this. You just hop on and ride. They've also done a really nice job hiding all the cables that route through the frame. Even more reflective accents here along the frame. Vvolt branding. Note the seat post clamp is not quick release. But that's enough talk about the components. Let's get into some first-person riding footage. All right, let's have some fun, and it still will be fun despite it being 40 degrees out here. The right gear certainly helps. I should mention that Showers Pass is a sister company to Vvolt. That's the jacket and the pants that I have on. So if you're looking for what I view as the ultimate commuter setup, of course you have a bike that's belt driven, but then you also have the right gear to help you prevent against the cold wind. And this has been my favorite helmet as of late. It's the Lumos helmet, and it's got turn signals and lights, but more importantly is the visor, which makes it so much more comfortable to ride in conditions like this. All right, let's get started with the first-person riding footage. Love the mid-step. This is where I would normally do our throttle only test, but we don't have a throttle. Instead, we have that boost button, which I personally first experienced on a Van Moof bike. Fun to see it on an e-bike here in the United States, and I'm going to demonstrate the use case for the boost button. Just pretend I'm at a stoplight, there's lots of traffic, and I just want to get through the intersection really fast. What I'm going to do is just start moving, and then I'll hit that boost button. It'll boost me for 4 seconds and get me up to 20 miles per hour. All right, here we go. I have in the first pedal assist level chill, and I'm just gonna pedal a little bit and then boost button. All right, and I just stopped pedaling just to demonstrate that yes, it can get you up to speed. And that was the 4 seconds. Looks like 17 miles per hour. The GPS was lagging behind just a little bit there. And I can use it again and show that it can hold you at 20 miles per hour. Of course, it is going to time out though. So a super cool feature on this bike. I will be curious to see if we see other brands kind of go with this boost button. And especially for a bike with a smaller battery, you don't necessarily want a throttle because it will burn through the battery quite quickly, but having the boost button is a nice in-between. All right, next let's go into the various pedal assist levels, and we're going to start off in chill mode. Kind of fun that they named it that. And remember, we have a mid-drive motor, which is going to sense how much pedal power I'm putting in. So here we go, chill, just starting off. Immediate motor engagement, which is nice. And just a very nice leisurely cadence. Now remember, there's only 3 gears. Right now we're in the first gear, cruising at 10 miles an hour. And it shifts around 11 or 12 miles per hour, and then again at 20, and it just shifted. And the only way you can really tell that it shifted is you just feel a little bit more pressure when it changes gears. It's very smooth. If I slow down below that 10 miles an hour and then play around with the speed, I can really get a sense of how it feels when it shifts. And if you listen very carefully, you can hear the motor. It just cuts off for just a second. And really like a manual car, just automatically shifting, of course. So in chill mode, very easy to cruise around 11, 12 miles an hour. And then if I put in more leg power, it does feel like the motor is starting to slowly back off. Going about 14 miles an hour. Let's go into Eco, see what the cruising speed is. Around 13, 14 miles an hour. A little bit more power. 16 or 17. Let's go up to Tour. Still haven't felt that second shift yet. Need to get closer to 20. Very easy to cruise at 17 miles an hour. All right, more leg power in Tour. Let's see if we can get to 20. $18. There we go, felt the shift again. 20 miles an hour. All right, let's go up into Sport. Still have one more pedal assist level after that. And I would say the cadence, for my preference, is excellent. Given that there's 3 gears, I can put an appropriate amount of leg power into it. But if you're someone who really likes to spin your legs a little bit faster, maybe you wouldn't prefer this, but I think they did a really nice job. All right, Sport mode. Cruising at 16, 17 miles an hour, it looks like. A little bit more power. We'll definitely get to 20 at least. And with that second gear shift, legs are definitely moving a lot slower, which means it likely is geared very well for 28. We'll see here in a second. Cruising at 22 with a moderate amount of effort in Sport. All right, we're in Turbo now. Let's see what the cruising speed is. And we'll see if we can get to 28. Though keep it in mind, a little bit of wind today. Battery certainly cold. All right, we already had one shift. We'll have another one here in a second. There it is. And yes, geared very well for 28 miles per hour. I can already tell. All right. So able to cruise above 20 miles per hour, low 20s pretty easily. All right, let's see if we can get to 28. Here we go. And yeah, still able to put plenty of leg resistance. Oh, there's 28 already. So you're certainly going to be working for the 28 mile per hour top speed, but very doable. I already know these Shimano brakes provide plenty of stopping power. We'll do a quick test right here anyway. Being careful not to lock up the rear tire. Whoops, did a little bit there. All right, and comfort and ergonomics. I will say the seat is a little bit firm for my liking. I prefer a more cushy style seat. Handlebars, I really like the slight swoop. Puts you in a nice middle of the road riding position. Not fully upright, but not fully hunched over either. And comfort-wise, as far as suspension, I really like the decision here because, again, it's a nice middle ground. It's not like there's no suspension, and I could certainly feel it going over some potholes and bumps, but you don't have all the additional weight of a full suspension fork. So I do appreciate that little bit of comfort. If I was using this bike to commute every day though, I would certainly add a suspension seat post. That's going to add a lot of comfort to any electric bike. All right, I'm going to boost through this intersection and then we'll get to our hill climb test. We've got it in turbo. Let's see how fast we can get up to speed. Use that boost button. There we go, 20 miles per hour. All right, let's see what this bike can do up our hill climb test. Welcome to our hill climb test. This is the hill that I test out all the electric bikes that I review on the channel. And I'm super curious how this motor performs. The GoPro makes it look so much smaller than it is, so we'll throw up a picture as well as the specs of the hill. And I will start off in chill, though I have to assume we're going to want to go in a higher pedal assist level pretty quickly here. And yes, Going to be pretty difficult in first gear, but you do have the boost button. Let's give that a try quick. And yeah, it is giving me a boost. Just keep in mind you can't just hold it down the entire time because it does cut out after about 4 seconds, so you will need to press it and then release and press it again. Let's go into Eco here. Not too much relief. Tour. All right, Sport. And as I kind of thought, Turbo is going to be where it's at. You will want to be in the highest pedal assist level if you're going up any kind of significant hill, though here in Turbo, just spinning my legs nice and easy, slowly, of course, but it's able to hold me at 8 miles an hour, so certainly capable. But again, if I put more power into the pedals, I will go faster. Let's put a little bit more of a moderate cadence. And yes, it did shift up here where I would have otherwise preferred to maybe be in the first gear still, because I passed that 11 or so mile per hour mark, but going about 12 miles an hour. So still a capable motor, though not going to just zoom you up a hill like some super powerful motors will. Though I will say the motor is incredibly quiet on this mid-drive, which I think some people will appreciate. All right, with that, let's get into some third-person riding footage, and I'll give you my concluding thoughts on the Vvolt Centauri 2. If someone asked me to design a commuter's dream bike, it would look a lot like the Vvolt Centauri 2. Vvolt has embraced belt drive e-bikes, equipping every single model with this feature. This means you get a maintenance-free, clean ride that's reliable for over 10,000 miles. The Centauri 2 elevates this no-worries approach with its automatic shifting. As an avid rider, I appreciate focusing solely on the ride, and this feature is equally beneficial for those returning to biking after decades away because you can just hop on and ride. I want to highlight that the rear hub is entirely mechanical, calibrated to shift based on rotational speed and centrifugal force. The sequential second and third gear clutches engage without any additional power. And don't let all this verbiage scare you away from this e-bike. Despite all of its features, the mid-drive motor, monoshock suspension, auto shift 3, and Gates CDX belt drive, the Centauri 2 is incredibly easy and intuitive to ride. Simply power it on, adjust your pedal assist levels as needed, and just pedal. And don't forget the boost button for an extra surge when necessary. And as an aside, throttles are rare on mid-drive e-bikes, so this boost button is a distinguishing feature. I'm also loving the new lighting package, numerous accessory mounts, full coverage fenders, and ergonomically designed swept-back handlebars. They all enhance the experience. With 3 size options, you have more choices than most brands offer. The mid-step frame provides easy accessibility while maintaining still a sporty feel. And thanks to some of the component choices, this bike is lighter than typical e-bikes, weighing in at 50 pounds. The suspension delivers as promised, offering simplicity and weight reduction, while still providing appreciated cushioning for city streets. The Ananda mid-drive motor is extremely responsive, delivering ample assistance up to 28 miles per hour. I also value the vibrant color LCD screen. The price point may be a consideration for some at $3,000, but check the link in the description for current pricing and potential sales. Also, a discount code we might have to help you save on your purchase. Buying through our link also helps support eBike Escape. At around $2,500, this bike becomes highly compelling and competitive. The battery, though smaller than average, still offers up to 60 miles of range. Vvolt has been known to offer battery deals, so keep that in mind if you need a second battery. The ride is exceptionally smooth and the automatic shifting performs as desired, with a slight exception, in my opinion, on super steep hills. On huge hills, some riders might prefer a slightly faster cadence, though the boost button slightly mitigates this concern, and the 650 watt peak motor is sufficiently powerful for the bike's intended use. Additional considerations include Vvolt's generous 3-year warranty with no mileage limitations, covering the bike, battery, motor, transmission, belt, and more. Their US-based customer support team is available via phone, chat, or email. I encourage you to get in touch if you're on the fence, but if we've assisted you in your Vvolt purchase decision, you can support videos like this for free by using our link in the description. Thank you so much for your support. There is a reason we enthusiastically feature Vvolt's e-bikes on the channel, and no, it's not just because I love belt drive, mid-drive e-bikes with internally geared hubs. They genuinely introduce interesting bikes to the market and are a great brand. The Centauri 2 simply boasts features that you won't find on other e-bikes. Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.